First of all, Brian, thank you for taking the time this afternoon to get with us. We appreciate it. I know it's been a hectic day, and you just came from a luncheon with some sponsors here at the track. My first question is how are you doing, and how has the weekend been so far for you?
Well, I'm doing very well as the years pass by, but the weekend's been great so far. We were a little bit late arriving on Thursday. We didn't get here till 6 because my granddaughter who came with me suddenly told me she was on vacation till Wednesday, and so we couldn't leave Vero Beach, Florida until Thursday. So.
Well, hopefully the weather here in Wisconsin is somewhat status quo with your familiarity in Florida weather, but it's been a great weekend so far. Have you been able to watch some of the races this afternoon, some of the qualifying events?
Yes, I have, and I'm always impressed with the quality of the cars. Fantastic. I was just watching the race now that's going on behind us, which Joe Hish is driving my old Chevron B19 or B16 from 1969. I first raced it at the Nürburgring in Germany in September 1969, and we managed to win the race. It was a 500-kilometre race, so 300 miles, and it was hot. And all I remember about it is that I was feeling faint and thirsty and short of air, and I ran into the back of an Austin Healey Sprite, and it woke me up. So, yeah.
With that story, and of course seeing a car that you've driven in the past, this event overall every year, does it always rekindle those fond memories of races past for you?
Yes, very much so. I mean, right here, amongst all the cars that are here, there are probably 5 or 6 that I drove, and some of them to, significant victories. The Lola 332C, the Baraxo Formula 5000 car, was my 1976 car, in which we won the Formula 5000 Championship, and also the first Long Beach Grand Prix, which was actually September of 1975. So that's here, and I see it racing, and I think it's on pole position.
Do you have opportunity throughout the race weekend to visit the current owners of those cars and relive some of the stories of those cars with those current owners?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, just at lunchtime today in the Nationwide stand just above us, a gentleman who bought a Chevron B19 that I raced for more than 20 years in vintage racing here in America. He's bought it, and he's tremendously enthusiastic. The car looks superb, and it won the concourse last night. And so all the time, as you're going round, it's not just the cars, of course, it's really the people. So I'm talking to people who I've raced with for 20, 30 years in some cases. And it's a fantastic thing, and the whole atmosphere is so brilliant. The downtown car parade last night and the concourse is fantastic. The whole town is jumping and seething, and so it's wonderful.
It was so nice last night to see such a large contingent of folks enjoying a beautiful evening, and to come out and watch the parade of cars and see the cars that are competing this weekend here at Road America. What does it mean, Brian, to have your name as part of this great event for all these years?
Well, it's very nice indeed. I mean, it partially started way back, I don't know how long, probably 20 years ago nearly, and at one time I was bringing in sponsorship, from Chrysler and Merrill Lynch. And then that sort of faded away after 2001 when all the tragedies happened. And so that went, and then for a few years it was the Brian Redman International Challenge. And then the sponsorship came from Cola. And so it was then the Cola International Challenge, with Brian Redman. And so that's very good, and that's a fantastic relationship for me, and with George Brugenthies, of course, who's done such a fantastic job of keeping the place up and keeping it so immaculate, and also spending money on it and improving it all the time. So it's a superb facility. I think it's the best in America. Yes.
Speaking of the facility, when you do have an opportunity, and you clearly are around the facility throughout the race weekend, is there a favorite activity of yours you like to do, a favorite stop here at the track you like to check out?
There is. First thing every morning I go and have a brat.
Definitely a must-have.
Yes.
Through all the years of you competing worldwide, Brian, I want to talk for a moment about Road America and all the races of past that you've competed in. Any one that sticks out as far as a special event of yours competing here?
Well, I think competing in this event, I mean, I had a lot of very good races here, and I raced over a long number of years. The first year was 1972 in a Chevron 5000 car, and then 73, 4, 5 and 6 for Jim Hall of Chaparral Cars and Carl Haas, who unfortunately recently passed away. And those were I've been racing 57 years now, I'm still racing. And those 4 years of 73, 4, 5 and 6 were the best in my racing career, even though in other parts of it I drove for Porsche and Ferrari and Jaguar and Aston Martin and all the teams, but those were my best years, and I raced a lot here in the Jaguar XJR5, Bob Tullius's Group 44 team, in the Formula 5000 cars, in the 2-litre cars, the vintage cars, the Chevron that's here now with a new owner. I raced it here probably 20 times, I should think. So I have a long history.
So there's a certain portion of the track, and we have the opportunity to talk to plenty of drivers on various race weekends. Is there a certain portion of the track that's a favorite of yours, Brian?
Well, I won't say a favourite, but every time I go around the carousel area, it reminds me of Brian Redman's cat, which was a legend, and I think the crypt is still there. I think I haven't been this weekend. I need to go later today and take a look.
How did that, we'll say, story or legend come about?
It started because of a corner worker, and he had it as a corner worker's toast. Here's to Brian Redman's cat. And the story was that, whenever I was racing or winning a race here, there was the cat, until one day it succumbed to an accident on the track, and it's now buried on the carousel just before. So,
and the opportunity, of course, to visit it every year.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Brian, thank you for your time. It's definitely a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this event for not only competitors and the spectators, and great to have you here back home at Road America.
Thank you very much indeed.